My next guest is a Panthers legend, one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. Ladies and gentlemen, recurring guest, Wesley Walls. Wesley, how's everything going for you?
Hey, it's going great, Zach. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for having me on the show. Always looking forward to talking with you.
Absolutely. Really appreciate it. So how's your offseason going? What have you been doing with no football on weekends?
Well, my golf game is getting better. I've played a lot of golf. This, COVID-19 has allowed me more time outside, and I've taken advantage of it on the golf course. Now, what that's done, that's lowered my index from like a 9 to a 6, but I can't play to that. And so I've lost a lot of money gambling on the golf course. So I'm ready to get back to normal.
I saw you say you went to the PGA the other day?
I did.
How was that?
Oh, it was awesome. Went down kind of on a whim and had a great time. And it's just I've got to play with the field before in a member tournament, Wells Fargo Championship Pro-Am, and just it was a special day to watch him accomplish what he was able to do this last weekend.
Yeah,
it was great.
Do most people just follow around one or two golfers and kind of stick with them, or do people just kind of wander?
You know, my buddy and I, Coleman Collin, I'm gonna give him a shout out from Memphis. I had invited him up to the member guest here at Quail Hollow, and we decided that we got finished early, we'd go down and watch. So he posted up on the 15 green and the 16 tee box, which had a really good seat standing there, and I stood with him a couple hours, and it was good to see the golfers up close and seeing the shots come in. The wind was howling. It was really hard, tough conditions. I mean, even though it was downwind, it was hard for those guys to make a lot of birdies, and for Phil to hang in there like he did at 50 years old, it was impressive, very impressive.
Is it as tight security as Augusta? I know Augusta, they take your phone and like you can't really do much.
I didn't have any problem. I didn't think I saw a lot of people with their phones taking pictures and things like that. Now, of course, the end of it, the crowd, I think this is happening in a lot of different places. People are so excited to be out in these events, and they're having a great time. And when something like this happens, that's a special moment. I mean, it's history. I mean, and so they just busted through the ropes, and you'd have to have a lot of security to stop that crowd. They were determined to get behind and support Phil.
Yeah. If Phil Mickelson can win a major at 50, how long is Brady going to keep playing?
I think those guys, I don't know. There's just no end in sight. I mean, Tom Brady can play as long as he wants to, I think, and Phil's going to be the same way. And that's just got to give them credit. They take care of themselves or stay focused. And I played 15 years, and I it's just hard to do that. It really is hard to stay that focused on what you're doing. You've done it your whole life, to be that competitive. You want to win that bad that you're still winning at the ages they are. It's incredible.
Did you golf during your playing career, like on off days when you had free time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't start playing golf till my college days, my junior, senior year in college. And during the season, I'd get out on Tuesdays if I could. And all season, I'd try to play in every little charity tournament that was around and to get better. And so it's fun. I love the sport. I love to get out with your buddies. And it's a great way to spend time. You got them trapped for 4 hours. It's a great place to do business, really. You get a client or somebody out there. What client's going to stay with you 4 hours unless you get them on a golf course?
Did you have any teammates that were so good at golf that if they were to give up football, they could easily make it into the majors?
Yeah, Brian Kinchin was on our team at one time here with the Panthers. Good tight end. He was a long snapper for several teams. He's an LSU guy, and he actually qualified for the U.S. Open. He made it all the way to the last qualifying round for the U.S. Open at one point. We had some other golfers, Steve Berline. We had a center, Frank Garcia, the guy. He was like a scratch golfer, and he's 320 pounds. It just was hard to believe he could hit it that straight, that big. At one point, Chris Heatherton was another guy that we had on the team, was scratch. He was a guy out of Yale, played fullback for us, played with the Raiders as well. At one time, if we'd been playing golf on Sundays, we'd had a lot better record in the NFL that year.
Do you think, I heard there's rumors they think Romo is good enough. Do you think he could potentially play professional golf?
Yeah, well, I just think it's just like stepping up from college to pros, and then being a pro and stepping from a pro to a pro bowler or an all-pro guy. It's just a little bit of difference. And I don't know Tony that well, but I've watched him play on some of these tournaments and stuff, and he's a very, very good player. But you know, I think it's that little leap from that one little step is pretty hard to get to. You got to be really good at it.
And then I want to ask your thoughts on the NFL season. Obviously, Bucs won Super Bowl. I don't think anybody really saw that coming going into the playoffs. What were your thoughts on kind of their rise? And then it took them a little bit to get past Washington, but from there it was smooth sailing.
Yeah, that was. I just enjoyed the NFL playoffs this year as much as I had in the last. Maybe just because it felt like we're coming out of the pandemic a little bit, and they had done such a great job all season of controlling the players, just being safe on the field. We missed the fans. I miss being there with the fans as a fan. I miss being there as well. But to watch how competitive they were in those playoff games, it was awesome. It really was. And of course, you're pulling for Tom Brady and Gronkowski and those guys at Tampa Bay. They never won. They have won a Super Bowl, but it's been a long time, and they really changed that whole dynamic on that team. And then you got the young guns at Kansas City Chiefs, man. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, all those guys, and it's just it was a heck of a game. I didn't really think that they could do it, but I was pulling for Tom Brady and that Buccaneer team, and when I saw it, you could tell it was going to happen. I mean, it was incredible.
What do you think of Gronkowski? Like just all the surgeries he's had, like he's retired, come back. He's obviously now he's a back top tight end. What do you just marvel when you see him out there?
I do. I mean, I actually, when he first got into the league, I knew he was going to be a very, very good player. He's just so tough and competitive, and he's got really strong hands. When I say strong hands, he can catch a ball in a crowd, and all he has to do is get a couple fingers on it. You're not going to get it out of his hands, and really good hand-to-eye coordination, and great runner with the football. But when you take a year off, Zach, I got to tell you, I mean, I've been hurt before for a year, and when you come back, that's a little different. You're still at the facility. You're injured, but you're at the facility, you're in the meetings, you're watching practice. But when you take a whole year and you go do wrestling and you do commercials, and then you come back and play on the team that goes to the Super Bowl, that's incredible. I got tremendous respect for him. What a great player.
Where do you think he ranks amongst the top tight ends of all time?
That's a good question. There are a bunch of good ones out there, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer in my mind, and a lot of people's mind. That's going to happen. When you start ranking those guys, you know, Tony Gonzalez, I mean, just shattered every record out there. And Shannon Sharp, great players. And I know I'm going to leave some people out. And some of the guys already, you know, Mike Ditka, some of the guys in the Hall of Fame. But it's going to be interesting in the next few years. Some of these guys that are up for the Hall of Fame at the tight end position, because the numbers back in the day, if you had a 50 catch season, that's leading the league. And Travis Kelce had 50 after 8 games. About 12 touchdowns.
I was watching some special they did on Harold Carmichael yesterday, and they said he led the league with 68 catches. I'm like, what?
See there. I mean, these offenses, I will say it's the rule changes. I mean, they're going to call pass interference now if they touch you or something. But people used to hold all the time, and there's a lot more contact. And you just kind of grinded the game out. You had a game plan. You're going to run, pass. And it's totally opposite now. It's wide open one-on-one matchups. It's always been one-on-one matchups, but just seems like the rule changes and the way people are playing defense and the way they're tackling, it's a little more easy to score points.
Yeah. So they got another great tight end who's just drafted into the NFC South, and Kyle Pitts. What do you think of him?
Oh, wow. I watched him play Ole Miss this last year down in the Grove, and he took over the game. I mean, there's just no one could cover him with his big body. He can run. He's got great hands, and he's good after the catch. So I expect he's going to start NFC South. I played in it a long time. He's going to put up some numbers over there with the Falcons. So that's going to be. It doesn't surprise me the Falcons picked him, because the Panthers are, I think, the next pick are 2 down.
Yeah, a couple down.
And I know they would have chosen him if he was there. He's going to be a great player in the league. I can't wait to see how he grows. He's just the new prototype, I call him. He's lean. He's got long arms to reach. He can run. He's great out in space, and he's going to be a force to deal with.
I can't wait for the season. And then I don't know if you've seen, they have these Greg Kittle, or not Greg, George Kittle. I don't call him Greg. Yeah. George Kittle, Travis Kelce, and a couple of I think Greg Olsen. There's something to this tight end summit. Have you seen this? You seen this?
No, I haven't seen
All
that.
the top tight ends, they're all going to start training in Nashville doing their own thing. I think they're trying to kind of like unionizing because they're tired of getting kind of like left behind on contracts compared to wide receivers, and they're kind of, I guess, elevating it to it's almost like a union. So it's really interesting what they're doing with that. All the top tight ends in the league they're all doing this whole training thing. It's pretty interesting.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
All those are great guys. You know, they used to have a quarterback club. I'm glad that the tight end position has become prominent enough now to have a tight end club. I like it.
Do you think this is one of kind of like the eras of the tight end position? Do you think this is like one of the or do you think what do you think about that concept?
Well, you know, you say great players. You're asking about the great players playing right now. I mean,
yeah.
Travis Kelce is just. I mean, he's so productive. Everybody knows he's going to get the ball, and that guy is one of the best route runners out there. I don't leave out George Kittle. He was hurt this last year. I like the way he plays. He plays hard, and he's fierce on the football field. And there are a few guys across the league. I mean, there's up and coming young athletic tight ends. A lot of times I watch a game and I don't even know the tight end's name. I'm just watching these guys and seeing how athletic, and I'm impressed with all of them. So, you know, it's good that Greg Olsen, I mean, he put up 3 1,000-yard seasons in a row, which is hard to do as a wide receiver, much less a tight end. In fact, I don't know if anyone's ever done that. So you got to give kudos to when the guys are that productive, that athletic, and perform like they do. Then it's fun to watch.
If you're starting up a franchise and you can take your pick at either George Kittle or Travis Kelce, you can either take that kind of like that blocking machine who's he's going to get down dirty, or you got Kelce who can give you easily 1,100 yards a season. Who'd you rather take?
I'm gonna take Kelce. No offense to George Kittle, and I still love the 49ers, but you know what Kelce does best and it's a perfect combination with Patrick Mahomes. I bet you that if they call 10 plays, 8 of them end up being some kind of broken version of the play. He may get covered, he may get cut off. Patrick may scramble. He may come off with a second read. He's not the primary read. He may be the second or third read, and Mahomes is going through his read tree, and he can improvise. And all of them, he's the best improviser I've seen out there. I mean, it's just hard to cover that guy, especially when Mahomes gets out in space and people's you got two threats. You got a running threat, and you got a guy Kelce can catch and run too, and he's really the best at it.
Washington just got Curtis Samuel, who spent the past couple of years in Carolina. What have you liked from his game that you think he can do in DC?
Yeah, I actually played golf with Coach Rivera the other day, and you know that there's already not animosity. Coach has picked up a few of the Panther players, some of the.
They're taking everybody.
Scouts.
They took the whole front office. They're taking everybody.
He's taking everybody. If he didn't get them, Buffalo got them up there with Brandon Bean. And the head coach there, I just dropped his name, but anyway.
John McDermott.
Yeah. What a great guy coach he is too. So they all kind of came through with Ron and in there. So, and Ron, I don't think he'd mind me telling this. He said, I couldn't believe he was available. Couldn't believe Curtis Samuel was available. And they went after him and got him. He's a great player. They drafted him. They know more about him than anybody. Coach Rivera does. He's going to make a big contribution to the Redskins or to the Washington football team.
I still slip up too. I don't. They need a new name. They got a new name because people are they need a new name. And then with the Panthers last year, obviously first year head coach Matt Rule kind of had a different roster to kind of put together, kind of maneuvered his way, made some moves in the offseason, bringing in Sam Darnold. What did you think of their season as a whole last year, and what are you excited about for 2021?
You know, Teddy Bridgewater, I thought he played well early in the year. They signed him to a 3-year contract. I didn't see an issue with keeping him, but it was interesting that Sam Darnold became available. And I get it. If I was a president or GM, I'm looking at upside potential. And I just think there's a little more upside to Sam Darnold. I know he hasn't been that successful in New York. But at the same time, he's only 24 years old. And if you kind of looked at it, someone told me this, and I won't quote the guy, but it made sense to me. He says, look, if this kid was a rookie coming out in this year's draft, as deep as it was with quarterbacks, that he would still be a first-round pick if he came out at 24. So we got a first-round pick is what we got, and here in the Panthers. And Teddy is somewhere where he's going to step in. He's going to step in and play anywhere. He's really good. I don't know Teddy, but I love the way he competes, and he's going to do great out in Denver. So for the Panthers, we got good receivers. You know, we got DJ Moore. We got Christian McCaffrey coming back. We just signed a new tight end. We got Ian Thomas on the roster as a tight end. I'm leaving out some receivers, but I can tell you we're going to be better. And Coach Rule we don't have to win. We don't have to win 14 games next year. We just need to be better than we were last year. I think this team is going to continue to get better and better. And you never know. You get on a hot streak at the end of the season, we might get into the playoffs. That's what I'm hoping.
You think people are overlooking the defense? Because they've made some moves. I know they grabbed J.C. Horn in the first round. They made a couple moves, brought in some. I think they brought in I forget one of the linebackers from the Chargers, and they've kind of upgraded that defense a little bit. Yeah,
I think we got a steal at the defensive end out of Arizona, and we kind of made some changes on the interior part of the line. Some of those guys are not there anymore, and we kind of brought in some new folks. But the Horn kid, Joe Horn's son, I don't know. He may be from Mississippi. I know George spent some time in Mississippi, or Joe did. Joe spent some time over there. My aunt used to be the driver's license lady at the DMV, and she'd call me every time Joe Horn would come in there and get his driver's license. So I'm pulling for him, and I thought it was impressive. I was surprised that they chose a defensive back. Everybody was saying they're going to get an offensive lineman. And they chose him. And man, after I watched the film and read the statistics he had against the top SEC receivers, and there's some really good ones, especially some at Ole Miss, he did a heck of a job. So that guy was a good pick. Our defense is going to be upgraded because of him. It's going to give him, more time for the guys to get to the passer. Our pass rush should get better. I think we're going to be surprisingly better on defense, and we get Christian McCaffrey back. That alone, we should be better.
Yeah, and with Ole Miss, I know I've had Archie Manning on, and he really likes this quarterback they have. What are you seeing out of him?
Matt Corral can spin it. When I say you can spin it, I mean he throws a beautiful pass, strong arm, heck of a competitor. He's had a couple bad games, and he'll be the first to admit it. He has, but he's good. He's going to play on Sunday. We always seem to have a whole host of receivers we can throw to. We lost A.J. Moore. We've got 2 or 3 guys going to step in and fill his shoes. I don't think anybody can replace him by themselves. We got a good tight end that showed up in that bowl game against Indiana, Jim Kelly's nephew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his nephew's on the roster over there. So he's going to contribute. We got some other tight ends. We actually use the tight end in college football. Not a lot of teams do. I'm always proud of that. Coach Kiffin's the best play caller in the game. We're excited about excitement he brought to our program last year. 5-5 in a COVID shortened season. I've already got every home game penciled on my calendar, Zach. I'm going to be there.
You think they can make some noise this year?
I do. I mean, we play Alabama. I mean, we play Alabama and Auburn away. We do have LSU at home. I think we have A&M at home this year too, and Arkansas. But it's going to be hard to beat Alabama. And Auburn's, we got a chance. We had a chance last year to beat Auburn. Had a chance to beat Alabama. So who knows? At SEC West, we play LSU at home. That's going to be a great game, and we always give them a hard game regardless of where it is. But we think we can win that game.
Are there any Ole Miss guys that were drafted a couple weeks ago that you really like the fits where they landed?
I was surprised that AJ Brown went. I mean, not AJ Brown. Goodness gracious, DJ. What's our receiver? Man, I'm having a senior moment here today. Our best receiver, Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, Elijah Moore. He in the second round, they got to steal. I think he's. I'm not sure where he went. Maybe did he go to the Jets?
Possibly. I think it sounds right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, whoever got him in the second round has got a heck of a football player. Elijah Moore's a great young man too. We just didn't have a lot drafted this year from Ole Miss. I believe I'm leaving out somebody. But we got a lot of guys in the league. There's several guys in the Panthers right now from Ole Miss. So I always try to keep up with those guys wherever they go in the league. We start Googling them here.
What did you think about all the rookie quarterbacks that went in the first round this year? Is anybody you like to fit maybe outside of Trevor Lawrence?
No, they're also talented. I think we knew Trevor's. Everybody knew he's going first to Jacksonville. There's just so many good ones. The kid from Alabama is a competitor too. It's good. I mean, that's good for football. Get young quarterbacks in there, top of the draft class. It was kind of exciting to watch all that happen on draft day this year. It was very interesting to see the teams who were going to trade up, and like the 49ers did to get that guy. It's just a lot of change at that position is going to happen over the next couple of years with these really good, talented quarterbacks coming out of college.
And I just got one last question for you. So we have a former Heisman Trophy winner, a former NFL quarterback who's been out of the league for 8 years, now trying to play tight end in Jacksonville and Team Tebow. What do you think of this whole situation? Do you think he can make it? Do you think he can do it?
Well, I think he makes it some way. He makes that roster because Tim Tebow is a heck of a competitor. I know he's older, but I always thought he'd be a good tight end. Even when he was playing quarterback, even at Florida, I was like, man, I don't know if that guy's going to make it in the league, but he could be a really good tight end. But he made it as a quarterback. So that kind of competitor, he has something to contribute. I think he's skilled enough that he might have a chance. Kelvin Benjamin just got moved. He was a receiver here with the Panthers.
Yeah, the
That
Giants.
guy was. When I first saw him, I said, that guy is a good-looking tight end. They said, no, he's our new receiver. And I'm like, wow. Well, I think he's going to probably make a big difference too at that position. He can, if he can run still, I'm sure he can. But big body. So, yeah, I'd like to see. I mean, Tebow is doing something that no one's been able to do. I mean, he's got all the odds are stacked against him. But I think that guy performs better when it's like that, when the odds are against him. He's trying to impress and try to prove people he can do it. So good luck to Tim Tebow.
With Kelvin, that rookie season, he was phenomenal. What did you see out of him that kind of gave you optimism? Maybe he could parlay it with the Giants. It's been some time now.
Who was that, Zach?
Kelvin Benjamin in his first season. What did you see out of him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, look, I think that guy, at tight end, he's big enough that he can bruise around, bang off people. I can't wait to see how some receivers would probably be thinking that would be a insult. Okay, I'm not fast enough now to play a receiver. You want me to play a tight end? Honestly, some people are built better to be a tight end than a receiver, and that's Kelvin Benjamin. He just fits the position better, if you ask me, at tight end. So I wouldn't be surprised that guy has a great year. I mean, it's going to take him some time to get down in that three-point stance to try to handle some of these defensive ends and those linebackers. But he'll figure it out. He's a great athlete.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's really all the questions we really have for you. We appreciate you taking time. Always a pleasure having you on. They need to move the football season up. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I don't know what we're supposed to do for the next 4 months.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either, Zach.
I don't know.
They could film mini camp right now. I think they're doing these OTAs in mini camp. I'll probably watch it.
anything.
That's good.
I said to my roommate, what if they did they brought week 1 and did it in June and then just had the regular season back and start in September? Just get everybody excited, do 1 game a week up until then, and then you just kind of get rolling. They said it's not going to happen.
They do have. Is there extra game this year? Is it 17 games?
There's an extra game, but they took away nobody's watching preseason, but they threw a 17 game, and so that's going to be interesting too. And so maybe the numbers will be a little bit inflated. But I do appreciate having you on. Can't wait until football starts back up. But always a pleasure.
Hey, Zach, always a pleasure, man. Hey, you tell Elijah Moore I'm sorry I forgot his name. I'll talk to you.
Will do.